Lately, we have been looking at the continent of Antarctica and finding some very strange features, things that cannot be explained naturally. It's a stark contrast between the hand of God and the hand of man. You see them side by side, and it's very clear what one is versus the other. Now, before we get into the things that I have uncovered today, I want to reveal for my audience a couple of tricks and techniques. Everyone out there is very familiar with the Google AI paradigm of demonetizing and shadow banning channels. It is artificial intelligence, and it has a fatal flaw. Artificial intelligence has, to describe it best, would be like this: zero situational awareness, 180 degrees to its rear. Any kind of a video that does this number, moves around, has lines in it like this, it confuses it. It doesn't see this channel as a news or information channel. It sees it as a live action channel. And it just basically ignores it. Now, I know that's a low quality image that you're looking at, but I have always been someone who has encouraged my audience to go seek the truth for themselves. I'll give you the guidelines. I'll show you where to go look, and I'll show you how to look, but do it for yourself so you don't have to believe me. So that if I ever would, something would happen, you could go and do it and find it for yourself. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions about why I do this the way that I do it. Now, this is, instead of Google Earth web-based, Google Earth Pro is the way to go. If they were going to hide something, the best place to hide it is in the past. Because most people, when they're looking for something, are going to try to find the most updated recent images they can. What I have encouraged people to do is use the date function and go back. Like, this is 2012. Some of the things that I've shown you won't appear if you have this date set to 2000. The max I've been able to set it to is 2016. It'll only show up in 2011, 12, 13 imagery. And you have to zoom in very, very close to get these high-res patches to uncover. Now, just for reference, what I'm going to show you today, and I know we're 3 minutes in and I haven't showed you anything, I'm sorry. I just wanted to do some channel business. For reference, we're going to take this little strip that points up at Argentina and always keep it at the top, 12 o'clock. So we're going to start at about 5:30 and work our way counterclockwise around to 2:30. But there's a bunch today. There is a whole bunch that I found. There's a field over here. Now, not all of these things are huge game changers, but as I'm searching through this, I always mark it just in case. We're going to start down here. The level that they've uncovered a very strange shape for a patch, but they uncovered this. And it doesn't seem like it's much, but you can tell where the high-res and low-res ends, and it's right at this. So it's the reason that I included it. Now, in today's video, I am going to show you some straight-up pyramids. There's just no way they're not. Because you're looking at 2D images of 3D objects. This is clearly a three-sided pyramid. And when you zoom out, you can look and you can see that look at this. Tell me this triangle is natural. This was clearly, at one point, some type of a trafficked highway system, some type of a path, and this was the destination because all roads lead to it. And we continually find these random just holes. Now, that doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary. I just labeled it. It could just be a giant crack in the ice. This looks like the tip of a pyramid beginning to uncover here. Now, if you look at this 2D, you think it's just, this is all water and this is just part of an iceberg. But you got to remember, this is 3D imagery. Everything down here is 3D. And there's places you can zoom all the way in and it'll take you underneath the ice. And you see some stuff down there that I'll show you later that's incredible. And for those of you out there who say that sometimes this stuff happens naturally, you're right. Sometimes a right angle will happen naturally. 4 right angles don't happen naturally. See, you have all this stuff around here that's all curved and cracked and shattered, and then you just have this pad, this platform. And I know everybody's like, where is this? Where is this? Where is this? I guess I'll give this location here 66 degrees, 4605.37 south, 90 degrees, 1534.94 east, elevation 5 feet. I mean, that's just not a natural, when you look at it in the context of the surrounding imagery, not even remotely natural. The one thing about the hand of man versus the hand of God is the hand of God is always unique and individual and unmistakable, whereas with man, it's always evidence of math, so to speak, geometric figures. Here we have what looks like a triangular, dark-shaped object underneath a perfect oval. And like I said, once you find this high-res patch in 2012, that's why I just gave the one location, you'll be able to search this out for yourself. This is a little less obvious, but very clearly here we're seeing what looks like either a very weather damaged or starting to uncover from the ice pyramid right here. Now, who remembers the story of Da Vinci saying that he traveled to this land where there was all these rings and water and all this? And when I look at this and I see these ridges and depressions and all of these rings like we've seen before, I wonder if there was just this major shift. And at one time this wasn't covered in ice. I know the dates would be all wrong and there's a lot of controversy about that. So it just made me think of it. Now here the imagery changes very starkly. And we have this, what looks like just a reddish pool, and if you zoom in, it looks like something is under the water here. It's just odd. It doesn't look like any other water around. And then another theme that we're seeing is this, here's another sharp cut angle, and then these weird, look at all the different shapes of triangles in this, and geometric patterns. And as you can see here, once again, just unnatural. Another one of our infamous cone-shaped entry-exit points is found here. And like I said, Google Earth Pro is easy to download. It doesn't take a lot of computer memory to do. This is what kind of struck me strange here, is this is allegedly what we're looking at. Do you see the surface of the water here that I'm zooming through? This shape is allegedly underwater, and there's a pool of different colored water underwater. I know this has happened at different places, but it's never heard of it in Antarctica. And once again, this sunken strange shape repeats itself over and over again. These rounded triangles that just it must have just been a very warm year in 2012 is all I can think down here. And there's just dozens of these things. I mean, look at this. Don't tell me this is natural. This just doesn't happen. We see it in Giza. We see it in Egypt. But nowhere else in the world do you see natural pyramids. So that's the one field. Another pyramid-shaped structure. Just a random hole. Just ice for miles and miles and miles around. Then all of a sudden, look at this shape. We've seen it so many times, and the ice above it and snow above it just melt off right down to the rock. This is a smaller field, but we see these just random, unexplained structures. There's 4 of them. Here, 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 and here. Giant flat sheet of uninterrupted, wind-blown ice, and then just collapse points. And here, and check this out. Tell me that's not some kind of a portal. Tell me that clearly is not a hole where something has either pushed its way out or is used in and out and in and out. I mean, look at how this is just perfectly polished ice right up next to this dark cavern. And the key is look around it. See how it's completely just unnatural. It just doesn't fit in with the surrounding landscape. Now, as we move up here, we did this before. More pyramids everywhere. I mean, tell me this is not a pyramid. Look at this. Literally perfect 60-degree angles. One side, two side. This looks like a 4-sided one that's just covered up. I'll go ahead and give you that one because, let's see, that one is 67 degrees, 3147.61 south, 63 degrees, 0039.77 east. High altitude, 28,000 feet here. And I started labeling these so that you could see what I was seeing. 2D image. This one's underwater. As you can see here with the ridge, one side, and the other side, and then of course what looks like some type of a cavern. And this is at, I'll zoom down here, about 800 feet underwater. We'll skip this. I'll show it to you. We won't be here long, but look at this random cross-hatching here. It just seems weird and unnatural for when you look at the surrounding landscape. And I didn't mark this, but I'm glad I saw it. Once more, a random rounded triangle just making a different impression in the snow and the ice than anywhere else. Yeah, I didn't even know what to think about this, other than what we've seen before. This is allegedly at depth. We're at 400 feet underwater here. Just a hole. Just a random dark hole. And like I said, it's not by itself strange, it's just strange when you look at the imagery around it. And when you see stuff like this. Why would the camera, if it's some kind of a camera artifact, why would the camera make some kind of a distinction? We'll have one more kind of unexplained, and then I'm going to actually show you some strange human activity. Okay, now, wow, now this one's gone. There was something here. Okay, this is kind of freaking me out. And now it's not even letting me go past 2009. Wow. Wonder if somebody's watching. There we go. Maybe it'll uncover now. There's 2011. Nope. That's just weird. There was a strange shape, strange object there, but I guess we'll just have to cover that another time. All right, as promised, I know we're 16 minutes in, but straight up, no lie right here. This is they found something out here. There's no base out here. They found one of these cone-shaped structures. And these paths here lead to areas that are so low res you can't tell where they're going. I traced both paths, one here and then one here off the edge, and they go to nowhere. This is 69 degrees 0153.88 south, 40 degrees 0350.23 east. Clearly this is hand-to-man. And there's a whole bunch of things out here that all look alike except for this one thing. This weird cone-shaped structure. Oh, I forgot about the pillars. I found out something that looks like a Stonehenge. Now, I know this is blurry, but doesn't that look like an aircraft? Possibly. But anyway, Stonehenge. Check this out. When you zoom in here, they uncover these giant pillars sticking up out of the ice. And you can tell by the shadows. Look at this. Just sticking up out of the ice. These aren't flat. This isn't, I looked at this and looked at this. These are giant pillars of ice sticking up like Stonehenge. And they're huge. I mean, they're absolutely enormous. We'll give you a ballpark on the distance here. 1/10 of a mile high, so 528 feet here. (69 degrees 58, 21.19 south, 38 degrees 12, 49.42 east, elevation 1,000 feet. And the last thing I guess we'll cover here, since we're going past 20 minutes, all over out here, strangely enough, if you zoom in, and now it's gone. Unbelievable. Oh, there it is. Found it. Underneath the water, when you come in, these are perfect square blocks that are black. And there's not just one of them. In this region, they're all over the place. Here's one. I mean, look at this. This is not an artifact of imagery. This is hand of man or something else. And like I said, you need to be in December or October of 2012 on Google Earth Pro to find this. These little black dot squares are everywhere out here. They go all the way up the coast. I just have them labeled square anomaly. There's one up here, one here. Like I said, you can zoom right down to underwater level. And this is what you look at. Things you just don't see in nature. So this field up here at the top, we did before. This is where the headlight and the Baltic Sea anomaly is. But this is the last section. A bunch of these rounded TR3Bs. Everywhere, rounded triangles, you see them. This exact same shape, just melting out the ice. And of course, somebody had requested this high res, this area to be imaged for some reason, because they don't uncover over the whole continent, just in certain areas and in certain years. This is the last one. And of course, this one's not uncovering. Wow. Somebody's mucking with the, well, you can kind of get the idea here. Perfect triangle. Another perfect triangle. And what looks like basically the shape of an iron. So we'll leave it there. I don't normally go 24 minutes, but I found a ton of stuff. I mean, like I said, if you just set this part by Argentina at noon and you just start over here at about 2:30, go back to 2012, and zoom in along the coast, you'll find all this stuff for yourself. And you can take this all the way around to, I mean, I have stuff found all the way from 6 o'clock all the way around to about 2 o'clock, so it's everywhere. And not hard to find. Just takes a little bit of time. So we will leave it there. 24 minutes. Thank you so much. And have a great weekend. Have a happy Labor Day. Like, share, subscribe.